Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire, in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And Shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. I'm going to title this lesson, The Third Woe Will Be Devastating. I got this article. Nuclear war in the U.S. will wipe out 300 million people from radiation, experts claim. The vast majority of the U.S. population could potentially be wiped out if there was ever a nuclear attack, according to experts. An estimated 300 million people would be put at risk of radiation exposure over the 4 days after the country was hit by the devastating weapons. While the enemy attack would most likely focus on the U.S. intercontinental ballistic missile launch facilities or silos in Colorado, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Wyoming as its primary objective, the hypothetical figures were highlighted in a special report by Scientific American published on Wednesday concerning the U.S. nuclear program. And they're wrong. It would target all the cities here in Babylon. But going on, it suggested that a huge 90% of the country's 48 lower states, along with people in Mexico's northern states and the most populated parts of Canada, could suffer from radiation if weather conditions are right or wrong in this case. The impact of an 80 kiloton warhead hitting all 450 silos was simulated by scientists using weather patterns through 2021. Wind patterns were analyzed for every day that year and how they would influence the nuclear fallout. In one scenario laid out in a map, 3 million people living near the silos would risk suffering from 8 grays GY of radiation in just 4 days following an attack. However, the annual limit for radiation is 0.001 GI, and 1 GI alone is enough to cause radiation sickness, and therefore 8 would most likely cause death. While a second map was also produced by the scientists showed less radiation damage than the first one. However, even with these smaller figures, it still predicted that millions of people would face death by radiation. Symptoms for high exposure of the deadly energy left in the air can start within minutes and include nausea, fatigue, and vomiting. Skin damage and diarrhea could also occur, as well as seizures and falling into a coma. The report was commissioned as the U.S. government finds on launched 1.5 million trillion project to refresh its obsolete nuclear weapons over the next 30 years, including those stored at silos in the western states. While the publication has previously warned about the horrific impact of a nuclear war would have on the country. And let me get it's not just those areas that's going to be hit. First, let me get Second Peter chapter 3 verse 10. But the day of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will come as a thief in the night, in which the elements shall pass away with a great noise. The heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works therein shall be burnt up. And we know that it doesn't mean the whole earth, because hold on, I'm going to Google it. the earth abideth forever. Says Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 4, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. So we know that it ain't talking about the whole earth, it's talking about this current setup. And as well as Babylon the Great, you know. Verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Verse 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High Power Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. What's going to cause that fervent heat? This. Which is just, it's the nukes. That's what this is. Saying to, I'll read this one. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice before the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High Power Yahweh. Verse 14, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Verse 15, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. Verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, aka 200 million. And I heard the number of them. Verse 17, and I saw the horses in this vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth. Fucking swear. Slacky. We getting them calls all the time. But anyways, having brass plates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone. That's what a nuclear warhead with the, that's what a nuclear missile with the materials inside of it are made out of. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of the eyes looked like, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Verse 18, by these was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. Yup. The heads of the horses, the warheads. Yup. Verse 19, 200 million of them. Warheads. Verse 19, for the power is in their mouth and in their tails, but for their tails were like under serpents and had heads. Those are the warheads right there. And had heads, and with them they do hurt. And that is the third woe. So before that, you got verse 12, which says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. That is the third woe. Verse, and it's also going to cause a great earthquake around the world, man. Revelation 11 and 12, we're going to be delivered. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Ratazah I'm of that number, will be delivered. I'll be delivered, with the elect. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai the brothers doing this work are of that number. Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in the clouds, and their enemies beheld them. Verse 13, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And the earthquake were slain men 7,000, representing representing a full amount, a complete amount. The 7 signifies or means completion. 7 means completion. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High Power Yahweh of heaven. Verse 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Third woe cometh quickly. And Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed in the third woe. With fire, man. Burnt with fire. Revelation 18 and 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is Yahweh of power who judgeth her. Verse 19, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Fuck. Hope it's still... Okay, it's still screen recording. That little icon at the top disappeared. Verse 19, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her, for when they shall see the smoke of her burning. When they shall see the smoke of her burning. Verse 10, standing far off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, showing you that Babylon, which is like a great city, America is like a great city, showing you it's America, because America is like the biggest consumer nation. They're an import nation, man. A lot of the shit that Americans use are imported. And it's one of the largest import nations, if not the largest. Well, countries, Slovakia. One of the largest import nations, if not the largest. But it's also the hammer of the whole earth. That's how you could tell this place is Babylon. The hammer of the whole earth. Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Hammer of the whole earth. U.S. military bases everywhere, pretty much. Especially around Russia. Especially around Russia and around China. And around, around Russia and China and around Iran. But there's U.S. military bases everywhere. Everywhere. Pretty much. And almost all these countries got a U.S. military base. That hammer of the whole earth. How is it cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Because Babylon ain't gonna come back from this. Babylon ain't gonna come back from this. And Ka'Allah Yahweh Shimi Shai. You know, the same place that oppressed both the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Jeremiah 15:33, showing you it's not talking about ancient Babylon. Jeremiah 15:33, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Verse 34, the Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Yep. And these modern day archers is these people that, oh, shit, interruptions. That's just Satan right there. Satan. Hindering. Jeremiah 15:29 called together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she had done unto her, for she had been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. Verse 32, the most proud shall stumble. Verse 31, behold, I'm against. Verse 30, therefore all her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. Verse 31, behold, I'm against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. Saith Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh power of hosts. For that day is come, the time that I will visit thee. Verse 32, the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in the cities, and it shall devour all round about them. Yep. I have to go with. Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And also, these missiles are called the sword of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This place is also known as Idumea because who rules it? Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Let me read the verses before that. Let me get the chapter. They're also known as the hosts of heaven because it's like it's describing the missiles, man. Missiles look like that, like fallen stars. Isaiah 34:4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. Doesn't Yahushua compare the time that's coming to doesn't Yahushua compare the time that's coming to to fig trees, figs falling from a fig tree? Let me get that. What the fuck? Use that. Matthew 12:24 and 32, actually. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise when ye shall see all these things, know that it is even at the door, near even at the door, talking about the signs, right? But I thought it was interesting how it used a fig tree as a parable there. And then in Isaiah in Isaiah 34:4, it says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. Verse 5, and then it's described as a sword. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, upon the people of my curse to judgment. I'm going to read on down. Verse 6, the sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh had to sacrifice in Bozrah in the great slaughter in the land of Idumea. No, Salakia. Verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Verse 8, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and in the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And this is how you know it's talking about the missiles right here. Right here it says same thing about Babylon. Isaiah 34:9. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Verse 10, it shall not be quenched night nor day, the smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste, none shall pass through it forever and ever. Verse 11, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. Because we're not going to know where Texas was. We're not going to know where California was. We're not going to know where Arkansas was, where New York was, where Mississippi was. We're not going to know none of that. It's going to be just one big desert. Verse 12. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all princes shall be as nothing. Verse 13, and thorns shall come up in their palaces, nails and brambles in their fortresses thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons in the court for owls. You know, just all types of wild beasts. Verse 14, the wild beasts of the desert also shall meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, the screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. Verse 15, there shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. And it's not talking about the modern day land of Edom. It's not talking about the land that Esau used to inhabit. I know someone somewhere would be like, that's talking about that. Nope. Because verse Obadiah 1:19, and they of the south shall possess the mount of Edom, of Esau, and they of the plains, they of the south, Judah, shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain, the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And this is after Obadiah 1:18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. Yeah. So it's not talking about the land of Esau. It's talking about the land that they rule right now. America. This is Babylon the Great. Which they rule Europe too. But Europe is the beast. This is the whore that shall be burnt. That's what it's talking about there. Including by her own allies. So not just the Russians, aka the Medes, but her own allies. Revelation 17 verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Verse 17, for the Most High Power Yahweh had put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdoms unto the beast, and kingdom unto the beast, and to the words of the Most High Power Yahweh shall be fulfilled. Verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. America. They hammer the whole earth. I'm going to show you in Isaiah 13 how Babylon is talking about. Babylon is also the land of Idumea. This proves it. Isaiah 13 and 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and the wives ravished. Verse 16. Okay, that was verse 16. Verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Verse 18. Their bows shall also dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Verse 19, in Babylon the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be when the Most High Power Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Verse 21, showing you that it's not ancient Babylon, showing you that it's another land, America. Verse 21, the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and the owls shall dwell there, and the satyrs shall dance there. Verse 22, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and their time is near to come, and their days shall not be prolonged. And so with that, I hope this video is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruka Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well. This is peace and salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Shalom, stay strong, Abba Ball, dead to Babylon, Abba La Adawamium, dead to these Edomites, Abba La Gawayim, dead to these other nations, Abba La Ayavim Nawa, dead to our enemies. The rest of our enemies mean 2/3 of the Hebrew Israelites, these so-called black people, Latinos, natives, as well as you Israelite foreigners, 2/3 of y'all as well. That are here in the States, and you wicked Israelites that are scattered to the four corners of the earth. You know, death is also coming for y'all as well. Least ye repent. lest he repent. There you go. Shalom, stay strong. Ababa Ball. Yasher Allah forever. Shalom.